Tiddly pom pom.
You've got to fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more.
Hello there, welcome to the Flushing Bloke podcast. I'm unusually shaped. With me is Brian.
I am normally shaped.
Oh, good God, that's what you call normal.
In today's society, overweight is the new normal.
All right, fair enough. Anyway,
I have the dad bod.
if you're wondering where Eddie is, he's having a lot of connection problems. He's out there, he's sweating buckets trying to get sorted. It may be we have to end this call. Well, I'll still stream, don't worry. We have to end this call and switch to Zoom. So, yeah. If you're playing along at home, basically open up a book amongst you and your relatives as to how long it's going to take Eddie to sort this out. All right. Closest one by 30 seconds. That's fair, don't you? Look at that. We're providing entertainment for people. Which is rare for this show. It's rare.
Yeah, it's usually, arguments and fights and groans.
Yeah. I need Eddie to be here tonight.
Why?
Well, I got a surprise for him.
Aw.
I know. It's,
I'm telling.
Hmm?
I'm telling his imaginary wife that strange women are giving him gifts.
It's not a gift per se. It's just a shock.
Surprises are gifts. It's the same.
It's going to shock him more than anything else, I think.
Oh.
He'll have difficulty believing it,
Well,
which is good. I like that. Yeah. God, it feels strange, just you and me again.
Now remember, we had our first session of Star Wars yesterday.
This is what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
I'll go into more detail when Eddie's here. What's he saying at the moment?
He's not online at the moment.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I don't see him online at all.
I'm wondering if I should start... Well, no, we haven't got a meeting point, have we? So, yeah, that's good. So it's going really well tonight, folks. Dear me.
Our high production values are all for your benefit.
Yeah. Yeah, they're for your benefit. Yeah.
Your benefit.
Right, yeah. And that's what we're going to say anyway. It's our defence, it'll stand up in court.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nice. Dear me. My animals are doing strange things tonight.
I did a strange thing tonight.
Oh, you do surprise me.
I ate Brussels sprouts for the first time since I was a little kid.
Unclean! Unclean!
Clearly. My mother right now, were she alive, would drop dead at this moment.
Well, quite. You know,
I have not eaten Brussels sprouts since I was at least in single digits.
and yet you
Jeez.
voluntarily went back to them.
It's all about how you make them, I've discovered.
No, there's no excuses with Brussels sprouts.
No,
Brussels
no,
sprouts
there
are
is,
the
there
nuclear
is.
option.
When you boil the Brussels sprouts, you get, toxic mustard gas.
Yes, he's here! Okay, boys and girls, if you've got 4 minutes and 10 seconds, you win. We were holding a book with the viewers about how long it was
We
going
had
to
a
take you to
good
get on.
Right. Are we on?
We
Sorry,
are on,
apologies.
yes, sorry.
We
I started
are
at 9 because I thought we could have some fun with this, quite frankly.
Why is it that Discord always makes you go through these checks for whether they'll get updates, and then it runs them, they fail constantly, which is why I'm late, and then you've got to reboot, but they don't tell you need to restart. So apologies, everyone.
That's all right.
Is there anybody on chat?
Yes.
No.
Yep.
500 people all
got-
wondering where you were.
2 people watching at the moment.
apologies.
2, count them, 2.
I think I'm one of them.
Hopefully Sean's going to be here tonight. Sean, if
Jeff
you're the
might
other
be
one,
another one.
say hello.
Hello, Sean.
If
Don't
you're
know,
there.
Sean, no. No, I don't think it will be tonight.
Oh, that's a shame. I wanted to discuss his starring role.
I
Oh,
know
yeah.
you have a celebrity in your household.
Or an
Absolutely.
assassin,
What did you
I'm not
think?
sure.
What did you think?
I was
Or
gripped.
both?
Gripped I was.
Yeah. I've
I
never
think
been
you
so
should get a
gripped in an
BAFTA.
episode of River City ever. Don't know. River City is a kind of local Scottish soap opera that's probably got a viewership as many viewers as we've got listeners. But I thought they did a fantastic job.
The thing
So,
is,
I mean, just
what you've got to understand, Brian, is basically what Sean was doing was just Glaswegian for hello.
I believe it.
It's true.
yeah, that's a polite hello. Yes. If somebody pulls up in front of you, the electric window goes down, and they brandish a gun. That means they like you.
Yes.
That means that they
Yes, it
really,
does.
really like you.
I never go into Scotland because I will fuck up so very badly. Oh dear. Yes.
I
So
think Sean
anyway,
needs a BAFTA. Definitely.
first things first. Brian, how was your week?
It was great.
Why?
It wasn't.
No. Okay.
Why?
Fair enough.
Work things, people working from
Yes.
home, trying to feel important and failing miserably, and just chaos.
And then you end up with us. Dear God.
Just let me do my freaking job.
Fair enough. Eddie, how was your week?
It's not been it's been ups and downs. So Sean's gran, which is why he's not here tonight, is not in a very good way. So he's spending some time with his gran just now. So he's come home and he's going to spend some time with her. So and Jack got home today. So that's Jack, Sean's other brother, and he was spending some time with his gran today as well, which was really nice because with Jack's autism, we really don't know how he was. He went up and he gave her a hug and a kiss. So he understands more than what's going on than he can actually communicate. So that's kind of sad, but at the same time, it's we've came together. Not that we ever never came, but our families united at the current time. So
Yeah.
so Sean, I will physically make sure Sean sits back and catches up in this. That's not
It's
coming up, but he's with his gran
important
just now.
because I mean our reviewing of his performance is vital to the future of his career.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
Absolutely. It could make or break him. It
could
could
do.
make or break him.
Talking of making or breaking people, last night we did a role-playing game.
We did.
Oh, how'd
We
it go?
did.
I had a ball.
Oh, hold a minute. Tell me it was nice and Siobhan was delighted with the outcome in terms of how things went, and it was nice, relaxed, and it was the Mary
Well,
Poppins of
I
It
love
was-
it when they
it-
grovel.
It was me running, so we had some things happen and places to see, and
great this is going to get going.
we may be watching the entirety of the Sixth Doctor. Just
Series 18 was nice while it lasted. Well, I can't complain.
Actually, we're going to look at Case of Androzani next week.
Oh, it could have been that bad yesterday then.
It wasn't. It was
No,
great. It was
it
a
wasn't.
blast from the past for me, playing a game I haven't played since the 90s. Or noughties,
I just
I can't
wanted
remember.
to see you sweat a little bit.
Yeah. we had to play that one, sorry. But yes, you're getting an extra special treat. The Caves of Androzani.
Good.
Yes, I'm happy about that as well, quite frankly. I've been racking my brains trying to find a really good Doctor Who story we could watch.
Well, it's fitting since we just watched Logopolis.
Yeah,
Now we're
I see
watching-
what you're saying, yeah. That's very true. Right, review shit. The Series 8 box set is out. Season 8, as some people call it. Oh, I don't know. And it's really good. That's my review. It's comfort Pertwee. It really is. I'm looking forward to when Series 9 comes out. I have to admit, that is also comfort Pertwee. And then, of course, the new Target books are out. Boys, have you got the Target books?
I don't think
Yeah,
they
I've got
sell them
one.
here.
Are you ordering any of the new ones?
Not particularly.
Okay, so you got Day of the Doctor. Have you read it?
It's on my reading list.
It's very, very good.
I will.
Okay, but yes,
It's definitely on my reading list. It was bought for Father's Day last year.
no, it's Moffat Unleashed. That's all I can say.
That's it. You've sold it on me. I will be reading it. I've
It's
not read
worth
any of the newer targets.
It's got a sense of humour. The writer has a sense of humour through it, which is I really enjoyed. Yeah, okay, well, I've worked out your birthday present for the birthday I missed.
That you never told us about.
Yeah, the one
That we now have to.
try and scramble around and find presents for.
Yeah.
That's
Doesn't matter.
Schmifty.
No, it's all right. Don't worry.
No.
It's fine.
We're gonna take care of this.
Yeah.
There will be stuff.
to say as well that this week, so I get an email from a different type of podcast. So I was part of a chat room for. My other guilty pleasure is I do like pro wrestling, but I've never watched it for years. And me and Sean, when Sean was younger, used to go to local independent wrestling shows. So I get invited on a podcast called Wrestling Daft, which is run by a wrestler called Grado, who's kind of like a phenomenon in Scotland, really quite famous in Britain as well. And Burniston, you're aware of Burniston, Siobhan, aren't you?
Bannerston.
The very famous, the Burniston. It was a comedy show. It's Rab Florence, and I can never remember the other guys.
I'm sorry.
They were responsible for the 11 lift sketch that kind of went viral about Scotsman in a lift that's voice activated, and how voice
I
activation
remember
doesn't
that.
work.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So
I don't know
Rab
the programme.
Florence is part of that group. So they invited me on to kind of talk. It was fun, but it was kind of really at the blue. So that was pretty strange this week. But
That's
yeah,
cool.
So I was talking about wrestling experiences from like 15 years ago. But what could you do?
So you've been a traitor this week, and well, no, I like it. It's good. You're spreading your wings. I approve. Like it's for me to approve anything. Right. Anyway, so yes, we've got to do
Don't worry,
this.
you'll always have me, Siobhan. Always.
I'll always be. Why me?
I think we broke Siobhan. Well, I say we. You broke Siobhan.
Okay with that.
Time for now from the world of Doctor Who.
It's Doctor Who.
Thank you.
I've already played the music which you talked over.
We're just
Yeah.
going with.
Yeah. Right. Good. I only get to hear it once a week, and you talk over it. Right, I'm just remembering.
Every week.
Yeah, every week.
Every week.
Yeah, every week. Yeah.
Oh, by the
And
way,
is
the
that-
shadow person is back behind you.
Ah,
Oh, yes. Mhm.
Yeah.
that's my area of darkness, isn't it?
hmm
Yeah.
We're gonna have to have you watch some Nuke's Top 5 on YouTube.
If you say so.
I cannot. There's no better definition of Nuke's Top 5 that I can say. Just watch.
All right.
rant.
All right. I'll risk it. I can't trust you with any recommendations.
Don't do it. Well, no. This is not a splorch thing.
Okay. Right.
All right.
All right.
Let's get that out of the gate.
You're a disgusting prevert.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. Anyway, a fourth Doctor Who, possibly, and his plucky girl assistant Adric. Well, they're in the cloister room. First time we've seen the cloisters, and they're lovely, and there's some lovely music to go with it, and it's lovely. And the Doctor Who, he wants to basically go and measure a police box to match it up against his own police box to see where it's going wrong, and then go to the Gopolis after to get them to shake the TARDIS free or something. It's all block transfer computation. It's intensely fiddly, apparently. Yes, hello indeed, Eddie. And, yeah, It's Legopolis, boys and girls.
It's the center of the universe.
Well, mine. What can I say? I've spoken about Legopolis a lot on the Flashing Blade over the years, so I think it's only fair I go to Brian and Eddie to basically do that. Eddie, what did you make of Legopolis? I think he's dead.
It helps if I come off mute. Sorry, no, I started coughing there, so I thought I'd try and be professional. It was very good. I like Legopolis. I've watched it many, many, many times. I wouldn't say it's one of my favourite. It's definitely a unique one. The Watcher and the whole concept of the Watcher. So the Watcher is Davidson. Was it actually Davidson playing the Watcher during
No,
this?
a guy called Adrian Gibb.
That's a
Gibbs.
quick. Adrian Gibb. Is he one of the Bee Gees that never actually made it to screen?
Yes. Well, you
I'm
can
not
tell
sure
that he
if
uses
it
his
was.
walk.
The mask would have had to be extended for the teeth. So
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
don't think so.
Yeah.
Adrian Gibbs, his name is.
Well, remember, you can tell who he is by the way he walks. He's a woman's man. No time to talk.
No time to talk. And he doesn't talk. So there you go.
He doesn't.
He is one of the Gibb brothers. There's no time for it. When he does, it's just very quiet and it's very concentrated and it's focused. No, the concept of the Watcher intrigued me because that whole thing there, because you don't know whether or not he's Stalker. You do get the impression that he is there to actually help, and the Doctor isn't scared by him. He's puzzled, but then goes over. And Tom plays this beautifully because it's the whole thing around. He talks about something in pain, something that's going to happen. And it's just, he knows. I mean, what I'm taking from this is he knows that this is the end of the trail for him, and this is his Doctor coping with it. So that I think is beautifully handled. Finlay was never as good at being the Master as he is in this episode because it's more restrained, it's more dark, and it's more evil. And that laugh, which he uses quite a few times, it shouldn't make me smile, but it does. And I just so that I really enjoyed as well. The whole thing about the penultimate episode where the Doctor and the Master kind of shake hands, and it's a case of that they've got to work in partnership. Intriguing. So there's lots of this, and again the actual regeneration itself, where we see, well, before it there's the whole thing around all the kind of evil, the Daleks and the Silurians and all surrounding it, so that, and then we see everybody else, like all the people like Sarah Jane, and we see Joe Grant. It just is really, 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 it's well handled. It's not my generation, but it is up there. My favourite generation of late, having revisited it, I'd have to say was Eccleston's. I thought Eccleston's regeneration was just the way it was like, how he was fantastic, and I loved that. But this is really good. I would have thought maybe a little bit more epic. Tom's final episode in Regeneration, and it goes back to the whole thing, and it's one of the things that bugbears that I have with the 10th Doctor. 10th Doctor falls from a helicopter or whatever, lands is fine. The Doctor falls from a set of scaffolding, and that.
I
is
did think
regeneration.
about that
Mm-hmm.
when I watched End of Time Part 2.
That always. But on watching it again, part of me kind of sees it as that this is a Doctor who's accepting that this is the end of this is the end of his cycle.
Well,
It's time to move on.
He doesn't fall off the radio telescope. He lets go.
Hey, let's go. Yeah. And the whole thing's set up all the way through that this is the fourth Doctor saying goodbye. I really thought that it's good Doctor Who. Like I said, not my favourite regeneration, but definitely up there, and it's very unique in terms of how it was handled. The whole concept of the Watcher. So this is fantastic Doctor Who. I really liked it, and I just thought, it was a great exit for Tom Baker, but more subdued than I thought it would be. But this is me thinking back to younger me. I thought it would be more bombastic, but maybe it didn't need to be. It didn't need to be. So
It was very much of its script editor, and also writer. This was what he wanted, and as a result, there is a coldness to it. I mean, let's forget the funeral atmosphere, especially in episode 1, which was just bloody gorgeous. But the rest of it does seem rather cold. And Logopolis does not convince, I'm afraid. The actual planet. It's... I don't know. There's something just not quite right about it. It just screams, I'm in the studio. Which is a shame.
Yeah.
The model work, even of its time, it does.
It wasn't that great.
But again, it was like well written, a good story. I thought I'd have expected more for Tom's exit, but at the same time, sometimes less is more. And I'm going to revisit that later on when we're talking about Stranded 2. So in second visit, the whole thing around the 10th Doctor and the 4th Doctor. 10th Doctor survives it, 4th Doctor doesn't. It's beautiful, excellent point, Siobhan. The 4th Doctor lets go. And I think this is the 4th Doctor just saying, my time is over, I'm ready to hand over the reins. And the 4th Doctor would do.
He
So
had
I'm not
no
really-
choice. As soon
I
as he
think
saw the Watcher, he knew his time was up.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly. I get more out of every time I watch it. I see a little bit more, and I get a little bit more out of it, and it answers questions that I've read previously. So that's got to be a sign of a good episode.
There's an area of darkness over my shoulder.
It's contemplating eating your soul.
Oi, Chestnut. Hello. Oh, why did I do that?
Oh God, the darkness
Dark
has
Overlord
eyes.
Chestnut.
And a
It kind of loses a bit of its impact when you give your Dark Overlord its name, Chestnut.
Basement cat is glowering. Oh dear. Anyway, yes, I love Logopolis. And it is my favourite regeneration. It's not the most emotional regeneration for me, but I'll come to it after Brian's said his bits and pieces. Say your bits and pieces, Brian.
Well, this was a fantastic episode. It's Tom Baker's final. I mean, you could even see it in his eyes when he started. He was done.
Yeah.
He had done everything he wanted to do with the character.
He's lacking
And-
all the energy he had.
Yeah, he was physically, mentally, emotionally finished. It was time for him to go, and he knew it. He accepted it. They brought in Nyssa finally. Nyssa arrives by a friend of the Doctor in their own TARDIS, which brings up a whole lot of questions.
Could have nicked the
And-
TARDIS whilst they were in the central registry.
I'm hoping.
And then brought Nissa here, left the TARDIS, and then the Doc and Adric turn up.
And then
Yeah.
let them do the block transfer thing that got messed up by
So
the
there is
Master.
a space that explains it, but it's just not explained.
Right, it's an off-screen explanation. I don't like off-screen explanations.
Oh, they spoke
Coming
highly
soon
of you.
on Big Finish. The Watcher Adventures. It's coming. There'll be a series of Watcher
That would
and
be
Nissa
cool.
Adventures. But
That would be cool. I really like the whole when Tom Baker confronted the Watcher on the bridge, and Adric was just watching them, and Tom Baker was pantomiming the hell out of it, just really going for broke. No, and why?
It wasn't that bad, surely.
Oh, it was fantastic. It
I
wasn't
don't-
bad at all.
He wasn't OTT in that.
No, there was a little, this no. So
What are you doing? Sorry, animals.
there was that, and I will agree, this was Ainsley's best Master.
definitely.
It was by far, hands down, this was his best outing as the Master.
Because it wasn't pantomime. It was held back, and it was quite cold and chilling. So
It
I
was
really enjoyed-
scary. It was actually creepifying, and we're killing Auntie.
It's Ainley, not Ainsley.
Ainley, I don't
I was trying so hard not to do that.
throw it up. Go ahead. I
I
earned it this
hurt.
week.
Ow.
Go ahead.
No,
Throw
no,
it
no,
up.
no, 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 no. The time is the
No,
time has
no,
passed.
no.
No. I earned it.
You earned it. Oh well,
I
if you
earned
insist
it.
upon it, that's the wrong one.
I
That's the
earned
right
it.
one.
Come on.
There you go. There it is. There it is. Anyway. Carry on.
Anyway, so you got Tegan showing up finally, and her aunt.
Close the
I
door,
mean-
dear.
The whole way the doctor tells her that her aunt is dead.
Your aunt, small woman in the red sports car. You've seen her then? Well, very little of her.
Well, yeah, just it's a little cold. Little cold. Yeah, she's never getting to that first day of the job, is she?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Even when she leaves Peter Davidson for a little bit after Adric and then eventually comes back, she still doesn't go to the first day of her job.
No, she ends up going into politics and whatever in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently Nissa joins her. Which, there's a story to be told there.
I think Big
Charlotte's
Finish
here.
did it.
No, I don't think so. They've got an older Nissa turn up. Freed from...
But he could show up too, I thought.
Oh, yeah, but what I'm saying is to try and fit the two of them together. It was a throwaway line in The Wedding of Sarah James Smith.
Yeah.
And... God, I'm having to remember things tonight.
No, the
Yeah.
funeral-
Nissa
the
and
funeral
Tegan
one.
they're a couple now, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently.
Hey.
I'm cool with that.
Whatever.
Yeah. So, look
But
up.
yeah,
Sorry, keep going.
This was fantastic. For some reason, I have since childhood remembered the doctor measuring a police box, and now I know why. It fit all the pieces together. I just remember seeing him as a kid, just measuring out like.
Is this the
16
first time you've seen it since then?
Probably,
Well, goodness me.
yeah, probably. But it's filled in the blanks, you know.
That's
And
cool.
for the life of me, I'm like, why did he do that? He was trying to fix the chameleon circuit, right? Yeah. And now everything makes sense. That was good.
Okay, that's cool.
Can I ask a quick question? The watch. So, Siobhan, I'm going to pick your brains before you tell us as well, because the Watcher is the Watcher like the Valyard, so it's a kind of
No.
tween regeneration.
You've seen the Watcher before.
Have we?
We have, except
Yes,
it wasn't.
yes. On Pertwee changed.
Yes, Campo Rinpoche.
Oh.
And Choji. Choji was Campo's Watcher. It was never stated in there that it's only since Legopolis we've got Watchers, and I don't think they've been mentioned since. But I think Bidmead's explanation was he'd been folded back from the time to come by the disruption of the present. Well, the universe sort of going fut. That's essentially what his thing is. But people have taken the Watcher idea as Time Lords can have a Watcher now, to help them regenerate and whatever. Which is, fair enough.
You know what also got me?
Sorry,
That
what have
this
you?
You know what else got me? That the whole concept that they had of the universe breaking down into mathematics, it kind of harkens to today's theories of the entire reality being a simulation.
Are we back on this again?
Yeah, because
We're back
Dr.
on the
Who brought
Hadron
it up.
Collider. No, hang on. The Hadron Collider
Even
was an
before
alternate
that.
universe.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
The Hadron Collider put us into the worst universe, but the entire
Darkest timeline.
reality is a mathematical simulation, which they've brought up in Doctor Who, 30, 40 years ago?
People really should have a word with Bill Gates.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but
If the universe is run on Windows 95, I demand a refund.
Eddie, what were you saying?
No, no, it was just I think the whole concept of the Watcher just it kind of fascinated me. I'd like
Yes.
to see that re-explored.
I remember. I mean, I watched it on original transmission because I'm old, and I thought it might have been an Auton because in the first episode we just saw him standing on the thing, and I hadn't seen Autons that I could remember anyway, and so I went by the description in the book, blank face, whatever. So I thought that could be an Auton. And then I think by episode 2, I was thinking it might be the Master. And it's only obviously episode 3 that I still didn't know who he was. Thank God for Nyssa, that's all I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
But I absolutely adore Logopolis. I think I've still got the audio cassettes I made of it way back when. I doubt very much they'll play, if I'm honest with you. They're so old. But and of course I listened to them over and over and over again, which is how all the music and the lines got lodged in my head. A few years ago now, I did something for the Flashing Blade audio podcast, which you can still listen to on Mixcloud if you're interested.
Yep.
It was reduced Logopolis. Basically telling Logopolis in about 20 minutes. And I wrote the script from memory, getting it spot on. It gets worse than that. Once we'd recorded it and I was editing it, I had to put incidental music. And it had to be the correct incidental music for the scene. And I did all that from memory. Logopolis is hardwired into my brain. I absolutely adore Paddy Kingston's music for that one. I really, really do. It's yeah, so I can see how you're right. It does feel a bit of a letdown for someone as grand as Tom's Doctor.
Yeah.
But then again, considering how he was playing it, he might possibly this was better, more somber.
Yeah, sometimes less is more.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes less is more.
Who knows? But did we enjoy Logopolis?
Absolutely. I've watched it.
Are you thumbs up? I can't say it.
It's probably one of the episodes that I've probably watched the most. It intrigues me. It keeps bringing me back. So it's doing something right.
We've lost practically all our viewers now. We're down to one viewer. It's probably you, Eddie. Which is good. So,
yeah, wait now, right? I'm gonna go. We don't. Rain's off, right? Absolutely, nobody's watching.
Nobody's watching. Let's just go.
Oh dear. I remember when we had a community. Anyway, so let's move on to Big Finish. And as per normal for the Flashing Blade, one of us hasn't managed to listen to all of it. Hands up who didn't manage to listen. Oh, it was you, Brian. But you listened to the first 2.
Yes.
Stranded is a 4-part box set. Stranded 2 is the second box set of the series. 4 discs, 4 stories, which is pleasant. And
it's long.
Again, this is brand new, so we've got to be very careful of spoilers. They're still stranded on Earth and staying at the Doctor's house in Baker Street, getting to know the residents. But the TARDIS is at a point now it can travel in time. It can't travel in space, but it can travel in time. And so for the first journey, they go to about 150 trillion or 150 million years into the future, something like that. And they discover a problem, which I'm not going into, and solve the problem and come back. Great. The second one, it's lovely. The second one, it's called Unit Dating.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Doctor decides to travel back to the Unit era, whether that's 70s or 80s. We're never 100% certain. He wants to.
No, it was the 1970s
or 80s.
No, it was definitely the 70s
or 80s. This is unit dating. Do not get me started on unit dating.
Okay.
Trust me. Unit dating is
The-
an unhealthy part of Doctor Who.
He went back to the Pertwee era. We'll
That's
go
a
with
good way of saying it. Yes.
that. We'll go with that.
Yeah, they actually make the point about the 70s or 80s in the thingy.
Yeah.
I'll explain the unit dating theory to you afterwards. I don't think of it very often. I've got better things to do, but some people, it's a bit whatchamacallit's last theorem, trying to untying the Gordian knot. It just cannot be resolved, and it's wonderful. Anyway, sorry, I'm babbling. Yes, so he goes back to UNHQ back then because he wants to pick up some of the research and bits and pieces that he did whilst he was there. When he was trying to fix the TARDIS, and of course the Eighth Doctor's trying to fix the TARDIS again, and so he thinks, well, look, he's about to have these exile lifted. I'll nick these. He's not going to need them. It's not as simple as that, unfortunately.
It never is.
You
You shouldn't cross your own timeline. I'm just saying.
This, I have a problem with this one. You see, two of the residents, a gay couple, actually first met at UNIT. And with everything that's going on in the future, our time, if you like, 2020, whatever it is, his memory keeps changing. And he's forgetting things and everything else like that. And they initially play it as dementia. It feels uncomfortable when they play it like that initially. It feels uncomfortable that it gets a sci-fi explanation and he's fine at the end of it. That's my only problem with this. It just grates a little bit. Apart from that, it's an absolutely lovely story. The third one I didn't understand one bit of. It's a World War II.
I'm glad you said that, because I could not follow it at all.
No.
I really couldn't. I thought it was just me.
No. I'm completely lost. If any of our viewers would like to actually get in touch and tell us what it was about, that'd be great. Thank you. There were people there that I didn't know who they were, and they're doing this, that, and the other, and suddenly it's the fourth one is brilliant.
It's a masterpiece. Really well done.
It's they've travelled to about 50 years into the future. 30 years, isn't it? 30 years into the future.
2050. Yeah.
Where Britain's a fascist state. And they've been captured and they're being interrogated one at a time. And this keeps going as you slowly find out more from the interrogator about what's been going on. And also she slowly realises that the Doctor isn't the big bad she thinks he is. Again, without giving anything away, it's hard to say anything about it, except it's bloody brilliant, to be fair. Eddie, please, your thoughts on all four. You watched all four. You're going to have to sit there and wait. Sit on your hands.
I'm okay.
I'll cover the first three and then go to the fourth, because the first three, I started Stranded. I loved, right, because it was the whole concept that what if the TARDIS was taking an operation and the Doctor was stuck, and he's stuck in London, so he's physically stranded. Like you said, in this one, the TARDIS is working off the bat. It's getting fixed. It can travel through time. It'll not be long before it can travel through space. So why are they stranded? And it's this box set explores the fact that stranded can actually be an emotion. It can be it doesn't need to be a physical state of mind. It's a state of mind as well. So in the first one, it's a case of they are stranded. They go in the future and they might not get back. The second one, second favourite story, they go back to a time where UNIT is there, and it's the Eighth Doctor meets the bride, and I'm not going to spoil it, but that interaction is just beautiful. I mean, it's just it takes you back to
something that needed doing.
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of tops and tails the Pertwee era, and I'll leave it there. Spot on. And it's obviously we've got two gay characters in a time where it's not going to be accepted, and they're in the armed forces.
They're bloody
so there's
lovely,
no-
aren't
they're
they?
stranded.
Mhm.
Great.
They're great guys. But both
and-
the young
and
version
both-
and the old version.
Well, yeah, perfectly played, and the Briggs involved. Yeah, because it's just brilliant. And Coleshaw, just as fantastic.
Well, he
The
played.
third one. Sorry, on you go.
Yeah, he played Gruntley the Ogron in this as well.
Yeah.
I don't know
Oh,
if anybody's told
seriously,
Gruntley he's in the latest Big Finish, but go onto Twitter and say so. He'd appreciate it probably. He'd probably
Yeah,
appreciate
he may
some
be
more
due some
bananas,
money.
to be honest.
He may be due some money.
Well,
Well,
that's
don't call him an
Yep.
don't call him an ape. That's derogatory.
it is. He doesn't like being called an ape,
He doesn't like being.
unless he himself says so. Anyway, he keeps thinking
And- and just-
Nida's got a crush on Davros, when we all know it's General Raven. I love you, Davros. Sorry, just saying.
No, not at all. Not at all. So, and again, it's a lovely story. The third one, I got lost, right? Because it's the story. It has to be told. It's around an element of Secret Service during World War II, and it's the women's involvement and great story, right? But why did they go back? Who these characters were? Were they residents in the flat? Because if they were, I can't remember them. So I get a bit lost. I just put it down to myself. A lot going on this week.
No, you weren't.
And-
I was confused by this as well.
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
I
I don't know if I lost concentration right at the beginning and missed something.
I
That's a
think that's
possibility.
possibly what happened to me because I was listening along to this during work when I was at work this week.
Mm.
And I also thought, and I put it in the chat with you during the week, and it was kind of like, maybe it's just kind of like slowing things down a little bit, maybe taking it off the line, and then we're going to get, because in Stranded, the first episode, it finishes with, and I'm going to spoil that because that's fairly recent as well.
Oh, you
That's
should
it
be
after the
alright
final
for
episode.
Stranded 1.
Well, there's an angle where it's an invasion force and they're after the Doctor, and for a reason which I'm not going to go into because it feeds into this.
It does.
And
It
I'm
does indeed.
expecting that this is going. We're going to be hit with a big fourth episode. I'm not. It's a case of we have an episode with the Doctor and some of the crew go forward 30 years, and they're being interrogated, and I'm going to leave it there as well.
However, this is the one the
and-
curator turns up in.
They go back and the curator's there, and the curator's talking to the interrogator when she's checked. I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there.
And Tom has
And
definitely
it's-
made a difference between the curator and the Doctor. It's,
There was a couple of things there that kind of was going to bother me, right? Because the curator, I'm a Matt Smith fanboy, and the curator's Matt Smith. But Ninth Doctor hasn't met the curator, has he? I don't think so.
the Ninth
The
Doctor.
curator's there, but
Well, the
he's
eighth.
been spoken.
The
no,
eighth
the
Doctor-
eighth Doctor.
actually.
Sorry, the
No,
eighth Doctor.
he
be fair.
hasn't. No, not yet. Hang on. No, I
The
don't.
curator spoke to
think
people
so.
around the Doctor, but he
Yeah.
hasn't actually met the Doctor.
Yeah. So,
So,
wait and see on
again,
that one.
brilliantly written, because the first time the curator meets the Doctor should be Matt Smith. End of. Anybody that says otherwise, I will meet them in the car park outside. I'm not a violent person, but Matt Smith, no.
So, dear Big Finish, don't do it.
Yes, Nick Briggs, you have been one.
Love Eddie.
And it's not bombastic, it's not.
No, it's there's a certain
Feel-
intimacy to this set.
Yes, and it's just perfect. And that was the whole thing I alluded to when we were talking about Logopolis. Sometimes less is more, and that's definitely the case with this box set in episode 4.
It's
I don't
why
know,
it
Siobhan,
feels
did you
homely.
read to the making of after? Did you listen to the making of after?
Oh no, I should. I was just. I binged basically. As soon as I finished
will
one, I
listen
had to
to it,
switch
right.
the other one on.
Because they explain why the episode is as it is.
Which one?
And had that the fourth episode,
Okay.
they talk about how the fourth episode was made as it was, and I'm not going to go into that either. But had that not been written as well, you'd put two and two together and makes sense. You're so engrossed in episode 4, your mind doesn't even go to there in terms of how it was made or why it was made. You're just roped in, and it's got a cliffhanger. And I want to listen to Stranded 3. I want to listen to it now. So when does that come out? Because I'm hooked. I'm really hooked.
End of the year, maybe next year.
Oh, hurry up, Big Finish! Can't leave it like this.
Frankly,
Brian, seriously, episode 4, you're going to love it. Seriously.
did you enjoy the two you listened to?
That's
Brian?
you, Brian.
I enjoyed it. The first one was kind of okay to me. All right, I get it. It was a little slow.
It was a bit of a scene setter.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The second one, when the girl is describing her older brother and what he went through,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, you know, I don't want to spoil it. That this is ours. So, but listen to the second one just for that.
Yeah, unit dating is good.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. But did you?
And the brig at the end. Hey, look, what you do on your own time. I don't care.
Yeah, basically. It's basically. I just know. Forget it. It's obviously
We deal with
you.
enough
There's
weird
only,
shit.
Yeah, there's only one weirdo like you. That's so. Thumbs up for this.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
I'll do one thumb for 2. There we go.
There we go. That's very good. Yes, economical. So yeah, that was fun. Stranded 2, the box set, thoroughly recommended. Go out and get it.
Please hurry up with Stranded 3. I want to walk now. I need to know what happens next.
I'll try and include that in my tweet when I put the YouTube video link out. Dear Big Finish, please hurry up with Stranded 3. Okay, so moving on to something I haven't seen, even though I tried to watch it. I went onto YouTube and I looked up Castle of Fear, and all I could find was with the commentary instead. And so I didn't watch it, which was a shame. It's the Tomorrow People. Like I say, after Revenge of Jedekiah, I really don't care that much. And it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
Actually, this one was a reversal of that.
I was about to say that. Of course, I'd forgotten that I've got them all on DVD anyway. But I couldn't be bothered to get up and get the DVD out, if I'm honest with you.
Oh, it was okay. It's not go searching for your box set to specifically look out for it good enough. So you did the right thing.
Okay.
It was better than the last batch we've had.
Brian, tell us about it.
Well, there's a new Tomorrow person.
No.
He's a little Scottish boy who has an English accent. This one just keeps the bar even for accents on this show.
That's the point. We have to look at the whole accent thing this time, don't we?
We have Scottish and we have American accents in this one.
Yeah. I don't consider what they were speaking American. They weren't anywhere close to American.
Well,
especially
you've
Ric
said that
Flair at the end.
You've said that, Eddie. How are the Scots accents?
Well, the dad in this and the bartender were Scottish, so that was obvious.
Okay.
Andrew, the wee boy, was not Scottish. His accent wasn't great, but I'll give him a buck because I actually thought he was a good wee actor. I thought he actually acted wee socks off on this, so accent wasn't great, but no, Andrew was good.
You
Fair
know
enough.
what the best thing about this whole thing was?
It ended.
It wasn't Mike focused.
It was Mike. Maybe that was it. Mike was a side
We
character
had
in this.
2 seasons of them trying to ram Mike down our throats. Like this character, like this character, like this. No,
Yeah.
stop. And they give us a
Yeah.
kid.
Point. Yeah.
Ooh, Eddie, you're having connection
And
problems.
a kid that can actually act. A
Yeah.
kid that can act.
The kid was
It was
good. So
Yep.
there's a Scottish bartender, and he's drinking up a storm. He's employed by
Oh,
the
the
kid's
Scottish
dad.
Scottish alcoholic. Go figure.
Sorry, I thought it was the start of a
Hey,
joke.
that's a Korean War veteran right there.
Come on,
Because they actually said it in the show.
Charlotte. Wait.
And he's drinking up the whiskey of the kid's dad. So the kid figures, okay, I'm going to put a stop to this. And he makes him see a ghost. A Highlander, a headless Highlander with a sword. Scares him sober.
Perhaps, possibly that's what my
So,
character
of course,
needs.
now the whole castle in place is haunted. Come see, money back guaranteed if you don't see a ghost. It's a good gimmick.
I may just watch this one.
Yeah.
If you guys are saying
And they
it's
have
not
the Loch
just...
Ness Monster, which that's
It's actually
not
good.
a kelpie.
It's good.
Fair enough.
So nice.
Right, no, I can tell you what a Kelpie is, right? Because Kelpies is a famous kind of landmark in Falkirk, which is just about half an hour up the road. Not something that Nessie was ever referred to. A Kelpie is another kind of, it's a creature that can take multiple forms, but is generally a horse that comes from the sea. And anybody that sits on the Kelpie to ride it gets consumed and absorbed by the horse. It's got nothing to do with Nessie.
And drowned
That
by
was
the
totally-
horse, usually.
Hang on. The important
Yeah,
thing I
yeah.
picked up from this is you're only half an hour from Falkirk. You're at ground fucking zero. Mind you, so am I. I'm right next to Gatwick. Nuclear war.
Oh,
Yeah, Falkirk.
Reds?
Nuclear war. Because Falkirk,
Reds.
that's where the nuclear subs are. And I'm Gatwick, major airport. Well, at least it used to be. It's practically dead now because of the COVID. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. I feel very sorry for the people involved, but the air's cleaned up tremendously. It's yeah. Sorry, I sort of heard Falkirk, and I've got a bit of a thing about nuclear war. I think I've mentioned this before when we're talking about Threads, but I watch nuclear war documentaries and this, that, and the other. I don't know why. I think it's just to scare myself. It's weird. It's a bit like watching all that tornado
Have
stuff.
you watched Chernobyl yet?
Yes. My God, wasn't that superb?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that was... Oh, what a superb production. There was something else I was going to say, and I can't remember what it was. It probably wasn't important. I was babbling anyway. So, what do you make of the Tomorrow People Castle of Fear, then?
So,
Refreshing
I was
change.
speaking. Yeah, I mean, like I said to Brian and yourself in chat, it was a few seconds in, and we've got a wee boy with a bad Scottish accent. We'll get ubiquitous Scottish barman, alcoholic, whiskey singing, I'll take the high road and you will take the low road. And it was like, I should be mortally offended, but I wasn't, because the story's actually quite good. It made sense in terms of it's the boys' dad's hotel is failing. Well, it was actually he's the laird, and it was his castle, and they had to convert it to a hotel to make money, and it's now failing. His dad, being typical Scotsman, of course, is Calvist religious, going to beat him up and lock him away. So the bits there that was kind of like, yeah, here we go with the Scottish stereotypes. But the dad has his moment where he's brought back, and he's gone through a lot. Let's give him a bye. That's kind of a hard time too. I've been there.
You've got a very dodgy internet connection tonight.
I have, yeah. So you keep off. I cut off. Apologies.
No, it's
So-
not that. I just didn't know if you knew. Buggered if I know what you can do about it. Get a hammer, I guess. Just thwack it a little bit.
Angela's in the bike downstairs pedaling away. I'll maybe get her to pedal faster to see if that helps with the internet connection.
Oh dear.
But this is it's the story made sense, and it's a case of a new torrent person's breaking out. If it's manifestation, it can create illusions. So he creates ghosts. He creates the necessity to try and keep the scientists there so that they can stay at the hotel, so his dad can make money. His dad thinks he's possessed by the devil, and he's very religious.
This is
But
not what I
again,
thought it was.
John and the other guys come and talk him through it and help him out with this. And you go,
Elizabeth.
Yes, she's
"It's
in it.
back!" Yeah, so it's Elizabeth. They don't explain why Elizabeth is back, but she's back.
There's no explanation.
Uh,
No how, why, whatever. She's back.
She's back, but that's fine. And like Brian, I didn't put two and two together. This is a Mike Light episode. It's written well. Wee boy plays Andrew. He's not got a good Scottish accent, but actually is a good actor, and
He's a better actor than Mike.
absolutely, absolutely. And off the back of this, the story we see Mike and John having a game of soldiers with the Redcoats and the Highlanders and playing them off each other. That was Gregor Fisher that appeared as an uncredited Highlander in that episode. So Rabsy Nesbitt's in it.
I've got a bizarre image in my head now.
I'm being funny. It was like a lookalike. So there's Ric Flair in the bar, and it was Rabsy Nesbitt, uncredited.
Look,
So
beautiful
it's just-
Pussycat.
So and he's a wee boy, and that's what a wee boy would do with that. He's playing soldiers with his powers, and John's getting into it as well. And I just it's actually quite joyous by the time it gets to the end. And at the end of this, his dad's came round. The hotel's saved. He's going to use his powers to guarantee that when you come to Dad's hotel, you'll see a ghost. Nice happy ending, nothing dark. And I'm wondering if it was the case for this. This is season 7, isn't it? And there's 8 seasons, so
This is the
Roger
last one.
Price. Is this the last one? Maybe it's a
This is the
case
last
that
season.
Roger Price knew this was the last one, and let's go out with a bang. I'm going to actually put some effort into this, because definitely they've been a long time, many weeks. Many weeks.
Hey, someone's just asked if we want to become famous. Buy followers, primes, and viewers on bigfollows.com. This user is GG Mysterio 426. Not
GG Mysterio. Sounds
not
like
somebody I
from
would have
Marvel.
searched for off the top of my head, if I'm honest. Certainly if I wanted to become
Reported.
famous, which I don't.
Would we, GG Mysterio, would we want to be famous for reviewing the Tomorrow People? No. You've came to the wrong room.
Quite like the idea of being famous for not reviewing the Tomorrow People.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we've got a unique selling point.
Yes.
Yeah.
As you never know which one of the hosts is going to have seen or heard which one of the things they're going to talk about. Each week it's a gamble, folks.
On the Tomorrow People, well, the gamble paid off this week. That Tomorrow People was good this week. I enjoyed it.
Fair enough. That's good.
Yeah.
I'll let go of the Scottish stereotypes of alcoholism and Calvinist work ethic, and we're all super religious. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Fair enough. That's good. You too, Bri?
Yeah, I like this one. It was very pleasant. It was a refreshing change from the Mike-centric episodes.
Cool. Okay, that's good. Let's move on to a Blake 7 episode I thought was going to highlight Gan, but suddenly didn't. And instead highlights Jenna. Who's she's being poured at by a man. That's the story of her character, basically. Basically, Blake and Callie have gone down to this planet to get ex-President Sarkov back to pick him up out of exile and take him back to his planet, where he's the only person who can unite all the people. Slight problem, he doesn't want to go. So Blake, being Blake, and we ask the question, freedom fighter or terrorist, starts breaking, he breaks one of the guy's ancient antique records and then goes to break his box of moths, Lepidoptera. If you flash back to last week, he was threatening to break a surgeon's hands. And here he's destroying all this to get his own way. Freedom fighter or terrorist?
Freedom fighter. Because that never was it the Roger thingy. Never felt more like singing blues. I hate that song. So no, freedom fighter.
Brian?
I didn't actually watch this episode. I watched the next episode, remember? Yeah. Yeah. I'm ready for next week, though.
It was Bounty we were supposed to be watching.
It was, yes.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was
I
Bounty. It
watched
wasn't one
Deliverance.
sheet we were to watch. It was definitely Bounty. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. I watched Deliverance.
The
Kitchen
flashing
towel
blade.
joke there that would
The flashing blade, except no substitutes.
absolutely.
Our high production values are.
It's you might want to put your feet up for the moment, love.
I didn't like this one anyway. I really didn't.
I did.
don't-
I
it
really
never
enjoyed
grabbed
it.
No, didn't like it.
It gave the crew a lot of interplay, which I enjoyed. And some of and Avon, little smirks, little smiles he gives when it comes to Villa, and it's that's a nice little character touch. Yeah, it's Bounty from Blake Seven. The complication to them getting President Sarkov out is the fact that the Liberator's been taken over by some old acquaintances of Jenna, who apparently betrays the Liberator crew to help out the bad guys, who basically they come up with a deal for the Federation, 13 million credits for the Liberator and the crew alive. And quite frankly, he succeeded. It's only the fact that Jenna pretended to turn traitor that stopped him. It's yeah, Sarkov in the end agrees to go back to his home planet, which is nice. I really enjoyed this one. I don't know why, but I really, really did. It just felt right. That's all I can say, to be honest with you. You got T.P. McKenna trying to decide whether to use an accent or not. Occasionally he's a bit Germanic.
No relative.
Oh, no.
T.P. McKenna?
No.
No relative.
God, he would be boring at Christmas. Anyway, so, yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Eddie?
There were certain things in this that kind of took me at the moment. So, like the castle that was just in the middle of the woods. I'd love to know what that was.
I'd love to
Was
live
that a
there.
set? Yeah.
don't think so.
That I enjoyed that. Why would the Federation protect this guy? So it was
Protect
obviously
him
around this.
or basically guard him?
Guard them. And why would he so readily give in? And I know it was the whole thing around his people turned against him, and he was.
That's what he thought,
forceful in
anyway.
It
The whole thing's a Federation plot. You know, they disrupt the planet Lindor, I think it was, and then
They disrupted the chocolate.
yeah, I know, and then
How could they? Those evil bastards.
they rigged the election so it looked like the people are completely turned against him, and so he went off in a sulk into exile. And the Federation are keeping him there because they're fermenting it. The reason that Blake wants to take Sarkov back is that all the tribes and everything else like that start to fight each other. It's heading towards civil war, which is exactly what the Federation want, because they can just move in armed forces as a peacekeeping thing, and that's it. They'll bring Sarkov back as a puppet leader, and yeah. So that's the Federation's plan. It doesn't work.
It's again. It's this whole thing. They did it last week as well in terms of two stories, which seem to be kind of just glued into one.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got that story, and then we've got the bounty hunters taking over the Liberator. Has swapped sides, and was she always part of this plot to actually catch them? Obviously, it's the whole thing around. They've got the collars on, which could explode. She's not wearing one though, because I think the guy is obviously attracted to her, and obviously, but I thought
Plus,
this
it's
wasn't
hard to
Omar
make out when
Sharif's.
You got explosives right below your neck. I mean,
Exactly. I mean that could cause a lot of problems, but it's not Omar Sharif's finest hour.
I was going to
obviously-
say Omar Sharif. He did look a bit like him, didn't he? Except I have a feeling he may not have actually come from the Middle East, judging by the colour of his skin. It's basically we'll put a thing on you, and we'll put a big thick moustache on you, a couple of fake scars, and there you go. You're from the Middle East.
Dr. Zhivago was big when they filmed this, wasn't it?
It would have been. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's Russia.
Doesn't matter. He was Omar Sharif was in it.
Oh, was it?
He had a
Lara's
couple of good
theme. What a
lines,
lovely
though.
piece of music.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not into kind of like it's stuck, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those pieces of
I
music
don't-
that just sticks in there.
I remember Omar Sharif was really big at that time as well. I remember my mum and my auntie Esther who never ever went to the cinema.
Ow!
There was them and a few of their friends all went en masse to see Go at the local Odeon. Never. It was like my mum's going to the pictures. Yeah, so my mum had a little thing for Omar Sharif and Telly Savalas.
He was a suave bugger.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas Telly Savalas
Red Hot
was someone
Pocket.
rough pretending to be suave when he wasn't playing Kojak or whatever.
Who loves you, baby?
Cuckoo could cheer.
And liked his lollies.
You did like his lollies, yeah? I'm now thinking of that song. You've know the song King of the Road?
Yeah.
It's King of the Cops, done by an impressionist. It did quite well in the charts, I remember, back in the 70s. It was basically a load
Did
of...
Telly Savalas not do it with a picture does 1,000 words? He did a spoken
He did something like
word
that,
version of
yes.
that actually did.
And then
Yeah.
he also did Birmingham. Come to Birmingham, the city of the
yeah,
future.
Birmingham.
I think he did one for Southampton, was it? I don't know. As well, he did
No, I
two.
think they're like Birmingham because he talks about the bull ring and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just hearing Telly
absolutely.
Savalas trying to talk up Birmingham. It's just this bizarre clash
I'm
of
gonna look for
cultures.
So
It's worth seeing.
the guy who plays the bounty hunter in this has a good couple of lines. The whole thing, I think you would sell your own grandmother, wouldn't you? Of course I would. I had to do it before she tried to sell me. It was just, but I'm starting to realise now that Blake Sim, for me, a lot of it is Paul Darrell and Avon, and there wasn't enough of them in this episode. And I think that's maybe what took me out a little bit.
Well, like I say,
But,
he had some good
I
moments.
wish they'd stick to just one. They did it last week as well. Stick to one story. Don't kind of put two things.
They don't.
No.
They don't. It seems to be a thing that whoever's on the ship gets a separate story arc from whoever goes on.
Yeah,
to
they
the
don't need
planet.
that.
Indeed. In fact, next week's something similar happens.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Okay.
Brian would know. Right then. So that was Blake 7. We enjoyed it, I presume. No, you didn't enjoy it. I did.
One thumb up. I'm not two.
I just really enjoyed this one. I don't know why. Just bang. Ooh, that was fun. It just seemed a notch above the others somewhere down the line. I kept thinking it had been written by Robert Holmes, but it can't be because I think Terry Nation wrote the whole of the first series himself.
It was better than last week's. It was definitely last week's. So it was a step up from last
Well,
week's.
we're heading now to the closing two-parter of the series, so we got that to look forward to. Yeah. So anyway, that was that.
We don't have any Marvel this week, do we?
No, we don't.
Nothing.
Well, next
nothing
week,
for Winter
The
Soldier.
Winter
next
Soldier's
week.
coming on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Disney, with these treats, you are spoiling
Did,
us.
did Auntie get her Auntie's Day present for the day?
Sorry, do you want to say that again?
Did you get your Auntie's Day present? You should have got some Tunnocks camel wafers that it says they've been delivered.
Oh! You've just reminded me of something I needed to do whilst I was online on the computer. There were two
That is
packages.
Auntie's Day.
Apparently there were two packages that the guy knocked and then didn't wait. And he put a card through where what he did write, what there was of that, was completely unintelligible. And so I've got to reorganise a delivery. Get it
Right.
redelivered. I don't know what this means. It means something or other. International Sign Language for
Anyway.
getting something redelivered?
Motor neuro difficulties.
I wouldn't joke about that.
It was the same
Twitch as it
thing
is.
in Big Bang Theory.
Right, so let's have a look. Next week we have Caves of Androzani. We have... I don't know what we're going to do for the big finish. I'll have to wait and see what drops. Yeah. If nothing drops, we might give it a miss for 1 week. We'll see. Then there's that Tomorrow People one. What did you say?
Achilles heel.
Achilles heel, that one. Sounds horrifically Trojan. And
Hopefully not another Mike episode.
hopefully. And then Deliverance for Blake 7.
It's really good.
I'm not going to spoil it for anyone. I'm staying
not gonna
quiet. I'm
spoil
staying
it.
quiet. I'm staying quiet.
I may watch it again. I don't know.
Ooh. Listen to him being all bold.
Mm-hmm.
I can watch as much Blake Seven as I like, over and over. And you can't stop me.
Just you should try. Just try and stop.
It's a bit like how many shredded wheat can you eat? How many times can you watch that episode of Blake Seven? Oh dear.
It's got Severance in it.
Serverland? Oh yes. No, hang on. Is Serverland in it next week?
Yeah, she's in it.
Oh, she can't be in it much.
No, she's pretty important in it.
If it's what I'm thinking it is, yeah, I can understand that, but the story moves on from that. And like I say, she must be...
She sets it up.
She must have been in it towards the beginning of the show, setting things up for what happens after.
A little bit of the middle. She gives the exposition.
Okay, all right. God knows what anybody listening to that is going to make of that, quite frankly. Because that was a dancing around saying things, but trying to... Yeah, that
Not spoil anything.
Yeah, something like that anyway.
Oh, and we find out something about Travis.
He's gay?
No.
Come off it, the way he dresses.
I'm just saying, hey.
Okay, all right. I didn't know Travis was in Deliverance. Okay, that's interesting. I know that they're in the last episode, but I'm not going to name
Borak.
that Brian's just named. And
You can say the name of the episode without
yeah, but
spoiling
Eddie
it.
doesn't. He doesn't know yet.
He knows what's coming up.
Do you?
Oh, look, it's Deliverance, then Orak.
You spoiled all my fun. He does
Orak?
it
What's
delightfully.
Orak?
So instead of Kaiser Androzani,
I knew I'd
That's
get
a
it
biscuit,
sometime.
isn't it?
oh dear. I'm trying to think what we could do the week after, to be honest with you.
Oh dear.
We've already done Earthshock.
Did we? Yes, we did.
Oh,
Didn't we?
yeah. We cheered.
We did, yes.
Well, you did.
We said farewell
didn't.
to Adric.
I didn't. I like Adric. I'm sorry, but I do. Yes, he was worse with Davison, but still.
The Fifth Doctor, his mistreatment of Adric was responsible for how Adric turned out. Not Adric.
Quite frankly, child services were needed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here. He kidnapped him from his own universe. He did.
Fair, the doctor did set him up with his own girlfriend.
So, no. Nissa and Tegan, remember.
I know. I'm just saying.
That,
There was an attempt. It was a failure, but there was an attempt.
I forgot what I was going to say. I'm so useless.
Adric, the Fifth Doctor, and how he turned out.
In child services.
Child services was required, yes.
I can't remember what I was going to say. That's the second time you've done that tonight. It's been very nicely timed. I start talking and Brian starts talking. I stop. Brian carries on and I completely forget what I'm saying. So if ever you don't want me to say something, just interrupt me.
Sorry.
I'll have forgotten it. What have we got coming up this week? Anything fun for you two?
No, not to be honest. No.
I got a
Hopefully
replacement
a quiet
battery
week.
for my laptop.
Oh, you live the life.
I get to do tech stuff.
Wow.
Takes all of a minute to do this, so
wouldn't
I have
be
to
able do it.
plan it out accordingly.
I wouldn't be able to do it. Change the battery on a laptop, I'd probably break the thing in half.
No,
I'm not very
There are
good with my
YouTube
hands.
videos for it.
The old laptops, you could actually just push them out and they came out, and it was like the blocks, they're gone now, aren't they? I mean, I haven't
Yeah.
bothered about
Now you
that.
have to actually take the bottom off, open it up, detach the battery, unscrew the battery from the laptop, put in the new ones. Yeah.
Yeah,
I got a new battery because mine is starting to swell in one cell. And I don't want it to explode.
I mentioned this last night for the
Probably the right
during
time
the
to replace
role-playing
the button.
game. I'm going to mention it tonight on the show. Sorry, Brian, it's not related. They've discovered a load of prehistoric microbes. They fed them, and they came back to life. Do you want to know where they found these microbes? In the very place Lovecraft said Cthulhu lived. I'm just saying is all. We are living in interesting times.
Actually, Rylea is more to the west of Antarctica, closer between Australia, or closer between New Zealand and Antarctica. It's a submerged island.
Okay.
You can find it on Google Maps.
I am obviously going to have to stop relying on Facebook for my information.
Seriously, you could go to Google Maps and find it. It's really popular.
Okay. It's not something I'm actually going to go and do, if I'm honest with you. Me and Google Maps have a history. I'm trying to think if anything's happening next week. What's happening with me? Have I got anything happening next week? I think I've got a financial inquisition.
COVID
next
injection?
Friday. No, that's still not
COVID
happening.
injection
No,
dates come through?
No.
That's ridiculous. That's really ridiculous, Sean.
I think it's because we're housebound. We're not expected to go out. But it's that's all very well. What about the people who come in? You know?
Well, that's the thing up here. So, like my mother-in-law, it actually came out and gave her the injection because she's housebound. Not a case. Yeah. And probably a good thing too. We've got carers coming out all the time now. So 4 times a day. So yeah.
It'll
I
happen
don't know.
eventually. I suspect that the people who are housebound will be last.
That's the front. What do you know? What do I know?
We'll wait and see, I suppose.
Boris knows better.
Yeah. What about you guys? Anything fun happening this week at all?
I wasn't expecting anything fun to happen this weekend. Like I said, Sean appeared on TV and shot somebody. Which one of those persons did he shoot? I'm not going to spoil it. So that's the whole thing.
You'd think he'd have had the sense not to do it not to shoot somebody when they were filming it with a camera.
Yeah,
You know?
well, he was right.
Well, he
right
was
about
insistent that the guy followed him with the camera just so that he could use that. It was
He
like,
had
yeah.
a mask. It was fine.
I suppose it's advertising, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fair
Well,
enough.
there's a reason for
All
wearing the
press
mask
is
as well.
good
But
press.
I think in case there's any River City fans watching this, in case there's any River City fans, full stop, I'll explain next week why he was wearing the mask.
Oh, is there more?
Oh yes, he'll be on it again this week.
Oh my giddy aunt, he'll get an international Emmy.
Oh, I'm just waiting for his IMDb entry. Man in mask with uncredited.
I've got
film.
one of those. Somebody set one up for me. And I looked at it and it's horrifically out of date. Oh. I don't think I go there from
We weren't
year to year.
expecting that this week. I wasn't expecting to meet Grado and Rab Florence this week, so who knows?
Yeah, quite.
Who knows?
Quite. You never know. Right, we're going to go away. Ah, dear me. 1 hour 20. That's reasonable, I think, don't you?
That's a fair time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, say goodbye, children.
Say goodbye, children.
Goodbye, children.
Now, this is where I do some incredibly clever things that you don't notice at all. Bye-bye.
You've got to fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more. And life and love and happiness are well worth fighting for. They're well worth fighting for.